everybody, a very good morning. It is so good to be back with you. Happy New Year. It's our first live launch show of 2023. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and New Year, and I hope you're ready to enjoy our first exclusive launch for this year. Great to have your company. Lovely Carla's here.
Hello, are you all right?
Miss Tiz Taz is over there.
Morning.
Yeah, get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you. And a really special launch today. This, for me, is true Carnation. This is what Carnation crafts do the best. What they are allowing you to do with our brand new Ponderance Place collection for 2023 is find your little retreat, maybe at the end of your garden, where you sit and watch the world go by and have a bit of you time. That's what Ponderance Place is. And what goes on in Ponderance Place is for you to decide, because this is an opportunity for you to tell your story. You're not being dictated to, you're not being told that this is the story of this and that character does that and that character does that. You're being given basically the opportunity to make the story yourself, to tell your very own story with the characters here. Now, the Ponderance Place collection, we're doing slightly differently for 2023. The price you see on your screen is the best price, the lowest price, including, of course, our discount code, which is PPCC10. So if you don't put that in the box when you check out, you'll be paying $109.99. If you put it in, which, let's face it, why wouldn't you? PPCC10, you'll get that price of $98.99. Also, we have it, of course, available on interest-free on our website as well, which you can find if you go to carnationcrafts.co.uk. But let's just talk through the collection. Let's show you what you're going to be getting here. And I've got to let you know, since the little tease that Carla gave you yesterday with Facebook Live, 30% of the entire stock of this collection is gone, so you're loving it just as much as we are today. Take a little look. We've got all of these dies on the top and all the ones on the bottom there as well for you. We'll get to the characters soon. Over here we've got free flowing, so that beautiful kind of running water into the little jar or vase at the bottom there with the flowers running up it too. All the vignettes, of course, all the artwork on the website for you to access and print off absolutely free of charge. This is the main card shape, which is called Within Reads, and just look at that lovely picket fence. Instantly you look at that and you can see snippability, lots of different capabilities with this. You've got all the beautiful wild flowers that you can scatter and have around as well to build up your scene. Next to that, we've then got our leafy hollow. Now this is where I think our characters probably live. I reckon they probably hollow share. I think they do. I think they do. So there is your leafy hollow. Wonderfully, wonderfully imaginative. Next to that, we've got our puddle buddies. We've got the snail. We've got the cutest little duckling there that you can see as well. And the frog. He'll melt your heart. We've got those two. Then we go down to the bottom and you can see that you've got your pails and you've got your trays. You've got your swallows. You've got your grounding rocks. And then you've also got a mouse. The cutest little mouse going for a bit of a dive off of his diving board, maybe into that pail of water over there, and then finally down the end there, is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. So that is the collection. Now the product code is 230101. 230101. Make sure you put that into your basket on our checkout and we will get it dispatched to you as quickly as we possibly can. Don't forget, of course, as you're spending over £50, it is free delivery to you. If you're watching us in the United States, of course, you can still purchase, but there will be shipping and handling, of course, on top of your order as well. So that is your Ponderance Place, the place to be at the bottom of the garden where all sorts magical goes on and all sorts of wonderful tales you can create with this particular collection today. Right, okay, now we've also got, of course, the perfect papers available. They're available on the website as well in colourways that will go wonderfully well with the vignettes. So if you're going to order it right now, while we've still got stock, go to the website and print off all your vignettes at the same time, whether it's single-sided or double-sided, because bear in mind, of course, these characters with the double-sided vignettes now can be looking left and right. There could be brother and sister, boyfriend, girlfriend, best buddies. So you've got a left-looking one, got a right-looking one as well. Like Carla, I mean, the storytelling potential of this is massive, isn't it?
It's just ridiculously cute, as we would imagine from Carnation. There's an awful lot going on here. But more than anything, the whole point about Ponderance Place and the joy of Ponderance Place, of course, is that we can change the vignettes that we've got. So as Dave said, not only have we got the mirrored vignettes, which I'll go through as we're talking, but also things that can be snipped into and changed into other things. So it's much more expansive than just a normal die set. It is just so clever, so well done, as we would expect, but also it's got that really genuinely lovely Carnation feel to it. It's what we want. It's New Year. New Year. Let's have some fun.
Carla, before we do the boards,
yeah,
can I just quickly let you know about something else that is brand new as well today. And these are exciting. First time we've actually had these fantastic slate edge nesting dies. We've got them available in all these different shapes and sizes, as you can see here. And there are vignettes for this as well. So there's actually slate artwork that you can print off if you're buying these dies today. And they actually do look like slate. So if I just hold up this little board here for a second so you can see. Just look how effective that is. Really different, really beautiful. So yeah, I mean, who else would give you artwork like this? You'd normally just get the nesting dies and have to find cardstock that would work with it. But the artwork's there for you to print off right now, free of charge on the website. And it does look like you've got real slate stacked on top of each other. So really different and a real kind of twist on traditional nesting dies, giving you that extra character, giving you that extra kind of look of natural look of slate. So you're going to get squares, circles, hearts, ovals, hexagons, DL and rectangles. They're all on the website now for you as well. This is going to be a regular stock item that we'll have in stock hopefully all the time through the year, but just thought I'd give you a heads up and let you see them now if you want them. Again, best price on this is $107.99 and it's 230110. You write a number, and again that will be free P&P if you're in the UK as well. Right, Carla, sorry, just wanted to get that in.
You apologise, Mr. Dave. It's fine. Should we have a look at these boards and see what you're getting for your money, because it is the most beautiful collection. So we've got your puddle buddies. Your puddle buddies are, that's really hard to say, puddle buddies are really, really beautiful. So we've got Jeremy the frog, who is just incredibly handsome. He's got the most beautiful eyes. He's got these lovely little feet. I love him very much. And it's the colour, isn't it? It's rich and it goes with so many other collections that you've got. So if you start to think of Fantastic Forest from a couple of years back now, this will work completely without this whole collection will. We're going to talk about that as we go through the show. So if any of you at home are sat there thinking, do you know what? I would love to put certain aspects of this with such and such collection, please do put it in the comments. We'll read those out for you. Let's have a show. Following on from Jeremy, we have got the very beautiful and very, very handsome Alan the snail. He is just perfect. I love him so much. I think he's my favourite of the collection as far as the little buddies are concerned. I used to have a giant African snail called Lavinia. So Alan is just
of course you
stunning.
did.
Of course I did. Lavinia was beautiful. And then we've got Norman, who is the little duck at the bottom, the little chick, and he is beautiful. All of these work with all of the aspects in here. So we've got pails and buckets that you'll see as we go through, and a little bath, and they can all be swimming in there, but they can also be with the house. They can be under the fountain of water. So as we go through, you'll start to see, and your brain will start to sort of picture how you're going to place these cards. So it's going to be an epic journey. All of these have all got their own backing shape as well. So you could make just a little card or a little tag out of Alan, for instance, or any of the other puddle buddies. Then we've got Perfect Form. He's so handsome in his all mice should from now on wear a little swimming suit. So Monty Mouse
I've got a suit like that.
Don't put that on, Dave. That's a no in the studio.
I'll wear it in the next show. No,
please don't. So we've got Monty Mouse, and he's all ready to dive off this little board that he's got with the steps going up. Yes, that's absolutely brilliant, but this also gives us a set of steps if you want to change it out, which is amazing because we can use that for other things. Again, start to think Colour of Autumn. This is going to come in with Colour of Autumn in different ways. All of the different collections going through, little steps, any little character that you've got, any of the mice from different collections, you can use these in all of those different aspects. He is beautiful and he is incredibly versatile. So we can turn him and have him tipping over, so he's diving into something. We can have him so he's touching something on his tiptoes and he's trying to get something off a shelf. So start thinking of Comfort of Home. Think of him standing on that armchair from Comfort of Home, trying to grab something off one of the shelves from Comfort of Home. So many different ways of just bringing all of these together. It is just, it's incredible.
I reckon that's what he's going to be diving into, you know.
Into this. Well, I like him having a little shower in here. He's just ridiculously sweet. This, for all of you, is going to be a massive boon, and there's so many reasons why. A, it's your perfect corner. This is a really glorious corner for all your cards. It's just beautiful, isn't it? But take the tap away, take the bucket away. You've got a log for the snail to be crawling along, or any of your other little buddies. It'll go with some of your other woodland pieces. Then take that away, and you can use that on any of your different Carnation collections as well. What's the one that has the tomato plant in it? It's got the tomato plants and it's got a wheelbarrow with some wellies. Slip and slide is in there. That collection, this would work brilliantly with that, and you've got the little pots at the bottom
We're on
as
it.
well.
We're trying to find it now, so.
Alan says, yay, I've had a snail named after me. You have, Alan. Both of you very handsome. So you've got this beautiful, beautiful piece, and again, you've got the pot at the bottom, which can be used on its own as well. So all of the details in here are all snippable. That's important.
Yeah.
Miss Tiztaz, yes.
Is it Garden Safari?
Could it be?
No.
Oh.
Look for the title, Slip and Slide. I bet it is Garden Safari now, I've said now. Garden Safari is the one with the little dog looking through the fence. What's Slip and Slide? The die is definitely called Slip and Slide. And it's a mouse with some wellies.
Oh, I got you.
Got it.
What collection's that from?
Peace and Quiet.
There
Peace
you
and
go,
Quiet,
Peace
there you
and
go.
Quiet. Oh, somebody's already said it.
Oh,
Karen,
yeah.
you're a legend.
Karen Vincent,
Peace
you're on
and
it.
Quiet. This whole collection would go with Peace and Quiet. So we've got pots and pails. You've got this gorgeous brass bath at the bottom, which any of your puddle buddies can be sitting in. So you could have the little duck. You can have, even the mouse can be sitting in here, all of the different ones. Then you've got this gorgeous bucket. I love the pail so much.
Alan could be in the pail having a shower or wash or something like that, couldn't he?
Alan absolutely could be. Then you've got the gorgeous plant pot here as well. So you've got all the elements that can be pieced next to each other. I have got to tell you, this is going really, really fast at the minute, guys. If you want to order this, I don't know how long the whole collection is going to last for. I believe Carnation will let us carry on doing the shows, even if it sells out, so that we can keep bringing you inspiration, but I don't think the actual collection is going to stay
bearing
long.
in mind, this is our first launch of 2023, and we've not been about very much over the last, 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of you have been eagerly awaiting the return of this particular launch show, and maybe you got some money given to you at Christmas and were told to treat yourself to something Carnation. Now it's up to 33%. A third of the entire stock has gone. A very, very, very busy first 15 minutes of our launch show today. There are 3 shows scheduled, just to let you know: 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and 1 o'clock GMT. Okay, so those 3 shows are going ahead live today. Will there be any stock left for tomorrow? That's a big question. I love these swallows.
I know, aren't they beautiful? So this is a flourish of swallows, and this is a really useful piece. Now, not only can we cut the birds individually, so you can use them just as little aspects in all of your cards, gorgeous elements for your sky pieces, but also as a whole, the little pip marks are done in such a way you can manipulate them into almost a semicircle, so you can use it as a banner. So it's really clever, really pretty, and really beautiful. And the detailing on it is insane. You guys can't see this, but there's even a little red banding around the nose of the birds. That's how tiny and detailed these are.
But also, you mentioned snippability. If you didn't want to have the whole trail of the swallows, just snip them easily individually.
I've done that quite a lot on some of the demos where I might have used 2 of the baby ones, because if you're looking at perspective, you can have those very far in the distance if you're using the smaller ones, and then bring in 2 nearer the front and have those, and so you've got that gorgeous kind of perspective look that we're looking for sometimes. Then we move on. This is going to be one of your most used. These are your grounding devices. What I love about this is that they've created it in a certain format. This works as decoupage, or it works individually. So this fits onto here, and this fits onto here, so we can build the decoupage on there, so you get that 3D aspect, or you can build kind of a rockery with them. Really clever, really useful. We're going to use them again and again. Grounding devices are always going to be one of our most important pieces, because they're the thing that makes sense of the card. Rather than having anything floating in midair, this makes sense of what's on top of it. So we love those. And then look.
I could see you living in that.
Like a little hobbit.
Yeah.
Like Bilbo Bagshaw.
I love that.
Bilbo Bagshaw. That's what we'll do in my little hobbit house. It's just very, very, it's not actually that different to my own house, I'll be fair. And then you've got your little rocking chair. I do have that. I literally have that chair in my kitchen right now. So yes, we have got just the cutest thing. Now, we were saying yesterday about glossy accents, and you were saying how you would love to put that onto the water and all the different things. If you look very closely here, you can see the little water droplets on those leaves. Put your glossy accents on there. They will look incredible. It's so, so cute. Look at this. There's one. There's glossy accents. Look.
Perfect.
See how, look at Alan. He's so handsome. It's just really well thought through, and we get to play with the different elements. My favourite of all, and the one I think that on an individual level will sell out the fastest. In fact, I don't know how long we will keep this for, because, man, alive, is that the most beautiful thing?
And that's your card.
That's
your
your
card
card
base.
base.
Yeah.
What I'll say to you guys, because I've focused on the slate a lot for the demos, but what I will say to you guys at home is on Wednesday for the composition show, it will focus on this card shape, and we're going to show you the different ways that you can use that and how it can be brought out. And we are going to focus specifically on this with the rest of the collection too, but specifically on this. So we'll bring it forward. Now, this is really important, this whole piece, for many reasons. First of all, just on its own, that is extraordinary. It's extraordinary because it's beautiful. Remember, all of our artwork is done in-house. Nick and the creative team do this, so nothing is outsourced. They literally sit, they paint, they do, and they bring it to life. Because of that, the whole process from Nick starting to sketch to this sitting here on this board is done with the idea of a die in mind at the end of it. So they're working out constantly, if I put this leaf here, at what point can people use that to snip away in order to make it the right shape that they want it to be for the piece that they're making. So Nick gives us these snip lines. You can cut it there, you can cut it there, you can cut it there. So it starts to get to where you're completely in control of that one piece. Take that away and you've got this beautiful gatepost with a little piece of water running underneath it, which is ridiculously realistic because of the shadowing in it from the gatepost. But this itself is stunning and can be used again with lots of different collections. And you can also bend that back and use it as a stand. So you just have that sitting proud and sitting forward, using that as the stand at the back of the card.
Honestly, this is why I'm so proud to be associated with Carnation Crafts and get asked once a month to come and do one of the exclusive launches. You cannot get Ponderance Place anywhere else at the moment. New for 2023. And as so many of you are saying in comments here on Facebook and on YouTube as well, it is looking like this collection is going to be an early sellout for 2023. I'll just give a few name checks out to some of you that have got in contact. Jacqueline Ward, hello Jacqueline. Wendy Cuffin, Karen Vincent said, ordered mine last night. Can't wait to receive this wonderful set. Think it's going to sell out fast as usual. Annie Foxall, Trisha Ella Hill, Pam Simpson, Kim Lum, Karen Richardson, Jacqueline Ward, hello to all of you. Hi lovelies, that's Amanda Elizabeth Spriggs. Mags Brown says, good morning Carla, Dave and Taz. Thank you for watching, thank you for ordering. And now, let me show you the sort of stories that you can be telling. And that's what this is all about. Ponderance Place, have you got a Ponderance Place in your garden? Is there like a little archway, a little set of chairs where you go and sit on a nice warm sunny afternoon, watch the world go by, see the wildlife in your garden, see your cat running around, all that sort of thing? And do you kind of make up stories in your mind? Because that's what you can do with Ponderance Place. All these characters, like we were saying earlier on, Carla was saying earlier on, because of the vignettes being double-sided nowadays, you can have them facing left and right, looking at each other, having a conversation between each other. Who's done this one? This is from Vera Bow on the design team, but look at the detail in this. Maybe you don't want characters all the time. Maybe you just want to focus on the actual flowers. I mean, why wouldn't you want the characters? But just if you want to have a beautiful...
How cute would that little duck be in the courtyard?
Yeah.
You know, in the courtyard with the little wishing well that pulls up, where you've got the mirrored vignette there doing at the bottom. In the courtyard, that would be... Ooh, I love this collection.
Now, Sue Darimple, another great design team member, has just focused on the flowers. And this is what Carla was saying a few minutes ago about the snippability of that main card die. There's no fence there at all. That's been snipped away. And we've added in all those wonderful wild flowers into the detail and a few more glossy accents for dewdrops on the flowers. Let's give you a couple more before we crack on with demo number one. Vera Bow, Vera, thank you for this one. What was the frog's name again?
Jeremy.
Jeremy, of course it was.
Nicknamed them all.
Has to be a Jeremy. Well, there's Jeremy and his best buddy. Aren't they lovely? They're wonderful. This one, I think my favourite character from a louder favourite character has to be the Carnation mice. And this Carnation mouse is a firm favourite of all of them because it's getting ready to take a dive into the bucket or whatever. How brilliant is that? So sweet, so cute. This one, they're getting ready to have maybe a little bit of a shower, those two, side by side. That's Lavinia Newton who's done this one. So what Nick and the team at Carnation do is they give you the tools, they give you the characters, they give you the scenes, all snippable, which allows you then to create so many different cards with different stories. You are the author. You're the person that's making up the story to tell your friends and family. And you can sell, of course, what you make. Absolutely, you can sell what you make. All right, well, we're about 20 minutes in. Better do demo one, shall we?
Should we have a look at what we can make with this collection, because it is just absolutely beautiful. Little Miss J Moomin put, oh, morning all, I've just had it confirmed my order has been received. It's such a lovely collection. When you guys order from Carnation Crafts, literally as you order it and the order hits their computers, they literally send it straight through. It gets picked and packed and posted. They never fail to get those out as quickly as possible. I realise there have been issues, obviously, with Royal Mail. Hopefully that will settle down now and things will be getting to you straight away. But there is a good chance that some of you who ordered this yesterday or ordered it today will receive yours tomorrow. Please do come back tomorrow in the shows and let us know if you have received those.
I mean, like you just said there with that email, very often we're on air doing the shows and we get messages from you saying that yours has been just dispatched. We've got the email to say it's on its way. The team at Carnation are really speedy, really quick, but get yours now while we still have the stock.
So for those of you who are brand new to card making, and if you're just starting this as an adventure for New Year, well done to you. It's an amazing thing to do. We're going to have a look at how to build your card base. So I'm using the Slate square for this, and I'm using the largest die on those square nesteds, and I've cut it out twice. On Wednesday, when we do composition, we'll go through that process from start to finish. We'll have a look at cutting a die and how it looks different from a printed sheet to an actual die cut, and then we'll talk through that gorgeous reed card shape. But we cut two, we score one at 1/2 inch, we fold it back towards our body with some red liner tape on it, and the reason we keep it towards our body is so that it doesn't get stuck by accident to the piece in front of it. Shuffle those together, butt it up against something, put it down, and then place that down. That's my card base sorted. Don't need to worry about that, and it's a simple tent fold, so nothing extraordinary, but it's something I didn't know when I started.
Carla,
so let's make sure we're all good.
Update from HQ,
yes.
Nearly 40%, approaching 40% of the entire stock has gone. You've been wanting this, eagerly awaiting it,
It's
and
not going to last.
No.
It's not. We knew it wasn't going to last, and obviously this is the time to get it. I don't know when they're going to be able to do an extended for. So if you don't manage to get hold of this before it sells out, I don't know when the next batch comes in. I haven't spoken to Carnation, so I'm not sure when that will be. So I'm going to use my perfect papers. Now Carnation bring out a perfect paper with every collection that they do. The perfect papers are actually, it's cardstock, it's 300 GSM, and it's so that you can do your mats and layers. It's a very solid card stock. It's beautifully designed. When Nick designs the colorways for his artwork and he paints everything and the team do all of the painting for it, they pick the colours to create their papers, so nothing clashes. You can't clash with Carnation. You cannot make a bad card with Carnation. You get 6 colours and you get 8 of each, and you get 48 sheets in total, so it's a whacking great big bundle. And they can ship this internationally, so not only can you get it in the States, the same as everything with Carnation, you can get it worldwide. Really nice to know, but they do have different shipping and handling fees on the website to the UK, so please do go and check that on there, because it's different to what we have it in the UK.
Absolutely,
isn't it?
yeah.
But they're the perfect partner. They go with what we're making beautifully. I've got this gorgeous slate card base here, and then I'm just going to place this on top. Now I've got my foam tape. I've created tabs at the back so that I can just pull it halfway, and I can still slip and slide on this bit so I can get it into place. So I can just pop this down, push, pull. Jacqueline is saying, please tell us about the USB. We will talk about the USB with you in a little while, go through that for you so you can see it as well. It's something brand new, but it might be in the next show that we go through that in detail rather than this morning, just while we're doing the launch, and then we will bring you more details about that and explain it in more detail.
Jacqueline, we'll do that in the 11 o'clock show if that's okay, and we'll mention it in the 1 o'clock show as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is very exciting and it's all there. So I've just placed a white piece on top, and that gives me my platform to work on. It gives me a little bit of kind of focus inside to the card that I'm doing. Now the reason that's important is just visually as the aesthetic, but also especially with this collection because it's Ponderance Place. We're building that scene, and scenes are just beautiful when we're using mats and layers with a bit of chunk underneath them.
And just so you don't miss out, Sandra's asking what the discount code is. Remember, the price that you're going to see on the screen for the main collection is the best price. You won't get that price unless you put in PPCC10, okay? PP for Ponderance Place, CC for Carnation Crafts 10. PPCC10, that will get you $98.99. So hopefully that's answered that question.
Right, so just to talk to you then about vignettes and what they are. So when the team create the artwork, they put it into a PDF format for you and you download those. they're called vignettes. So it's just the images that we see, and they come out on A4 sheets of paper. You get them from the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. You go to downloads on the banner menu, and then free downloads. And from there is a box on the right hand side that allows you to type in which collection you would like to see. So for this one we would put in Ponderance Place, and it'll bring you up a list of PDFs that go with this particular collection, and that's your artwork. You can see there that there's insert papers, there's backing papers, they're completely free. You can also then get all of the downloads that come for it. One of those will give you the full Ponderance Place for free. You go to your checkout with it, so you add it to your basket, you go to checkout. Now if you're not paying for it, you don't need to put in any card details, obviously, you're just downloading that for free. It'll go to your computer, save it there, and then you open it up and you press print. You're going to try and print it in Adobe if you can. You're going to try and open it in Adobe if you can, because it's got the best colour relationship with anything that you print. That's across the board, not just with Carnation. Adobe has the best colour registrations, and that's why we use it with Carnation. And we also use ProPrint paper, because you're going to get that vibrancy that we're looking for. So you're going to print it on best quality, and you're going to print, certainly if you're using ProPrint, photo quality, photo paper. Then you then print it out, and you put your die on top it, and you cut it. But they've got a mirrored vignette. So some of those vignettes will have a black line going straight down the middle. We fold it on that, we spray glue the inside, pop it together. You're going to put your die on top, put it through your machine, and it will come out mirrored, and that means you get the image on both sides. So we have this here where you've got the plant pot, and then as I turn it over, that's exactly the same on the other side. So that artwork is able to use both ways. Why is that important? Well, little dude that I've got here, little Monty, who's sitting, and he's very handsome, my die is only going to let me place him in one direction, whereas if I turn him around, as I can do here, I can have him facing both ways. So that means I just doubled my money. I just doubled what I paid for, because I now get to use him whichever direction I want him to use, and normally we don't have that freedom with a die, so it's very nice to have it.
Not only can he be diving, but if you've got one facing the other, they could be having a bit of a dance, a bit of a rave.
What sort of raves did you go to in the 90s, Mr. Dave Bradford?
I still go now.
It's not like, oh good lord, it's not like the tea dances.
Like coming under and you make a little.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like the is it line dancing? No.
You make like a little.
Don't soldiers do it? Don't
Yes,
soldiers do
they do it
it
at
where
weddings
they,
as well, don't they?
yeah, where
Yeah.
they put their hands and they create an arch
It's
and
got a name,
people
but I
walk
can't remember
underneath
it.
it.
Could be.
It's not the kind of dances I go to. Right, I've got this as a corner piece. I love free flowing. I think it's so pretty. There's something about it. I'm putting it on a 5mm tape here. So this is a really chunky foam tape, and I'm doing that to raise it up so that it's got dimension below it. What that means is as the water flows, I'm going to have a shadow from it. So it'll look very 3D from the back. And I'm just going to place it in the corner, but I'm just going to place it very slightly over the edge. So my little rocks will come out of the edge. So I'm kind of lining up my pipe at the end there. Just place it down. And that shadow play is so pretty and so lovely, because you've got obviously the dimension there. So you can see how it's already starting to pop and come to life. And we get that with Carnation. We have that freedom to play. So I love that very much. Now I'm going to place some rocks next to it just to give me extra on my grounding device. Before I stick that down, I did just want to say, when I look at that piece and I've got free flow in there and I've got the little rocks at the bottom, I can just put a sentiment right in this corner and I've created a really beautiful card. For those of you brand new to card making who have never really made a card before, what Carnation can give you is a handhold all the way, because you've done very little here. All you've had to do is cut out 1, 2, 3, 4 things, basically, just your nested dies, and then these pieces, a little sentiment, you can just stamp it straight onto this piece of white and you've created a gorgeous scene. And that's the power of Carnation. That's where they stand out, and that's why they will hold your hand from start to end.
A top tip would be that if you are a little bit nervous about making a picture or making a scene, telling a story, just place them without any adhesive on to start with, and then just stand back, take a photograph of it maybe with your camera on your phone, and if you're not happy with things, move it around a little bit. When you are happy, then put the adhesive on.
Absolutely. So I've got my pots and pails here. I'm using the plant pot and I'm using the little bucket as well. And I'm just wiggling and jiggling to give it a little bit of shape. I'm not worried about a ball tool with this because my hand can do just as much as the ball tool on it, but you could go in with that as well. So we're just literally just wiggling and jiggling, and you can see how I get that rotund shape, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use pin flare because what I'm going to then do is start building up the shapes. Now I don't want to put the rocks on until I've got those shapes in place because I just want to make sure everything is working as it should be, and I'm going to keep the bottoms on them fairly flat. Pin flare is going to be my best friend here. Now pin flare is going to come in, but it's only going to come in at the bottom because if I start to raise it any higher, I'm not going to be able to tuck anything underneath it, and I do want to tuck. So I'm just going to place it there, and I'm going to go slightly up because remember I'm putting those rocks there. So I'm going about ridge to ridge here with those. Now, if you look at that, the reason we need grounding devices is exactly that. Because suddenly that's the most why. And that's what we're all, we don't have them floating in the air. Grounding devices then become our most important thing because I can place this down and it suddenly makes sense of it. That's why we always talk about grounding devices and the importance of them.
I've got to say, get well soon to Linda. Linda Stevens. She says, morning all. Missed the preview yesterday, but I watched it later. Watching from hospital as I have pneumonia.
Oh gosh.
Fantastic collection, she says. I just love it. Well, get well soon. Lots of love, Linda, from all of us to you. And Jacqueline Ward says, get well soon as well, Linda.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, thinking of you.
That's horrible. There's so many people poorly at the minute.
Lots of lurgy. Not as bad as pneumonia, though.
No, of course.
Yeah, get well soon, Linda.
So I've placed my rocks just on a little bit of foam tape to raise them up so we've got some depth, but you can see how my bucket handle just sits forward there, proud as well.
And there could be a hole in that bucket, dear Carla.
Dear Liza.
If you wanted it to be.
Then fix it. So I've taken some of the florals. Now, for those of you who struggle with dexterity and you find it difficult with the florals because they've got very, very narrow little, stems. All I do on these, I don't know if you can see it or not, is I just wrap one stem because I'm going to be tucking them. So can you see how that's wrapping round there? Because I'm going to be tucking them in, I can just wrap one stem and it keeps all of them together, which means I can then handle that amount and I can play with the shaping of them, how I want them to be before I commit to any stick. And they're not going to sort of fly all over because I've got this gorgeous little spiral going round, which is just one of the stems. And it's just a way of being able to control them while you sort your bouquet out into whichever direction you want it to be, so it sits free flowing. And I'm going to work out how tall I want that to be, and then I'll just snip off the edges of those because I don't need them to be that tall, but they're going to sit in my little plant pot. So I'll just take some away, and then I'm just going to use a little bit of wet glue. I can steal the pin flare that's in the bottom of my pot, but I don't know how far I want them to go down, so I'm just going to place just a smidge of wet glue, place it, tuck it right down here, hide that spiral, tuck it through. Look at this.
Do you know what? You're not going to get bored with this collection. If you've ever bought a collection, possibly in the past years ago, from somewhere else, and you thought to yourself, oh, I can't really do much more than what I've already done with it because it's a one-trick pony, or you're being dictated to about the story or whatever. There's so many different ways of using this original artwork, all done in the UK, this artwork, okay, by Nick and his team. So, and it gives you the permission to use it however you wish, which is lovely.
I'm just going to shape out Monty's bottom and his tummy just to give him a little bit of oomph there and just around his face. So I use the smaller side of the ball tool for that. I'm using the Carnation ball tools mainly because I can get so much choice with the size of the ball tools that I'm using. So I'm just using that just to gently shape out those elements just on his face, on his tongue. Can you see the little ears that he's so cute. So we've got this gorgeous, gorgeous shaping here. And I'm just going to place him under that water tunnel. So he's having a little shower because who doesn't need a shower? Little bit of pin flare, not much on his tummy. I don't want to raise him too much, but enough just to place him
I could have done with that shower yesterday when I got to my digs. Where I stay when I come and do these shows for Carnation, there's a lovely farm just up the road. But the people have been away for Christmas and New Year, and I was the first person to stay there since they've been away. No hot water, no central heating, freezing.
You should have just come here.
I should have done, shouldn't I?
Fiona Milne is saying, how can I order at this price? It's more expensive on the website. So the reason that you're seeing it at that is because you're seeing it at its sort of, if you like, normal today price. That's not its standard price, it is discounted. But if you want to get it where you're getting it for the best price, which is what we're showing on screen, you do need to put in the code at the checkout, which is PPCC10. If you don't put that in, it will charge you the full amount. You must put that code in, PPCC10. And Fiona, when you're doing that, you will need to put that in capital letters. As soon as you do that, it will give you the full 10%. You'll get that at the show price of £98.99.
And so many of you have done just that. 40% of the stock. This is the first launch of 2023, and this is exclusive to us at Carnation Crafts TV at the moment. You won't be anywhere else for a good while, and if it sells out, which it's looking like it probably will do, it may take us a good few weeks to get more stock of it, such as the world is at the moment. So £98.99 PPCC10, that is the price you'll pay if you put that discount code in, like Carla said. If you don't, you'll be charged £109.99, but why pay more when you don't have to? And that code is there for absolutely everybody. Fiona is ordering hers now. Congratulations, Fiona. Sheila Parry says, morning Carla and team, what beautiful collection, can't wait to receive mine. I've just ordered it. And as soon as you order with Carnation, you should get a confirmation email that it's on its way very, very quickly indeed. And make it your mission then to go straight to the website where you're there ordering anyway. But if you go and have a little look at the downloads, the vignettes, you can have all that artwork to enjoy, all the characters. The leafy hollow can be there as an artwork that you can print off this afternoon, or right now actually this morning, and sit there and admire it and enjoy it. And then maybe in your mind, think about the story you're going to tell. Think about the snippability. Are you going to snip those reeds away from the flowers and have that white picket fence separately? Are you going to print off the double-sided vignette so you've got the characters? As I said before, you can have them one looking left, one looking right. They want to be together, this one. Look at Fiona Abbott's card. This is great, using the slate heart as the backdrop. But look at the detail in there. Oh, marriage made in heaven. And that's a lefty and a righty.
It is, and they're sitting on Monty's diving board. So remember what we're saying about this collection. All of it transfers to something else. You don't need to use it in its whole pieces. It can be snipped into, it can be changed and rotated. It is incredibly versatile. It is the cutest, most delicious collection.
They're very modern. They're
I
from
love
Bath
it.
together.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That would not have been you and me today, Dave.
No. But look at this one. I'm looking and thinking Easter as well, but you know, they're all year round, definitely. But that little chick has definitely got a nod to Easter. And my favourite frog, who just does not adore that wonderful. Is it Jeremy?
Jeremy.
Jeremy the frog. That's his brother.
Jezza.
Jeremy and Jezza. Love it. And hats off to all of the design team. Vera Bow, you've done a fantastic job on this one. You can always tell how much the design team has loved the collection just by how many finished cards we actually get in the studio for our launch shows. And there's about 2 boxes more down there for our shows later on. So to say that the design team have enjoyed themselves is an underestimate, definitely. Sue Durimble has done this one. You can make tiny little ditty cards as well as huge ones if you want to. Make that scene, tell that story, the story of Ponderance Place. When I saw it on the computer a couple of days ago, when I saw the email, I just thought this is going to be a really popular one.
Yeah, absolutely. You know it.
Massively.
It's because it's absolute core Carnation, isn't it? It's pure. Somebody is saying, can they use the discount code on individual pieces as well? As far as I'm aware, that code is for the show, so you can use it over the next 3 days on anything that has got to do with Ponderance Place. So you won't be able to use it across the website. It is just for things that are to do with Ponderance Place and the Slate dies, I would imagine, for the next couple of days as well, although that obviously won't carry on. But that code is PPCC10, which is Ponderance Place, Carnation Crafts 10. It needs to be in capitals or it won't work.
Okay, now don't forget, as ever, whenever we bring you vignettes and wonderful collections like this, we also give the opportunity of going for the perfect papers, colourways that will coordinate with the artwork. That's there for you on the website now. But don't forget, of course, today is the launch of these beautiful nesting dies. Now, you're not getting one, you're going to get all 2, 4, 6, 7 sets, I think it is, 2, 4, 6, yeah, 7 sets of the slate edge squares. Now, you look at them and you think, okay, they're different, but they are nesting dies. Yes, they are. but there are artwork vignettes for you to print off for these as well, in all the different shapes and all the different sizes. So not only does the shape and the actual kind of what it cuts out look like slate, but now you've got the artwork that looks like real slate as well. So what a point of difference that is, something very, very different and unusual. And if I show you this card again for a second, this is from Vera Bow. You can see that she's used the hexagon slates in the light and in the dark and matted and layered them together. So now that's giving you a completely new look to your cards and giving more texture.
Yeah, it's just gorgeous, isn't it? I love nested dies so much. But it's about bringing in different elements for different things, isn't it? And so Carnation try and bring us different nested dies for different meanings almost. So because obviously Ponderance Place, it's very much about the outdoors, isn't it? It's very much about the countryside. It's got that outdoor feel to it. So the slate is entirely appropriate for that. So that's why that we're sort of bringing them together. You'll see us using these slate dies for the next 5 years. That you'll just see us continually using them, and they'll have them on the website as time goes by as well. I don't know how long they'll last as far as the batch that they've got at the minute is concerned, but certainly you will see them down the line, and we will keep using them in the way we still use the shabbies, the crystalline, you know, all the different nested that we bring. You'll see us using these more, but I will quickly whiz you through if I can. Okay, and it's always a case that if you spend over £50 on our shows, it's free P&P if you're in the UK. Otherwise, the shipping and handling to the US, that will be on our website for you to look at too. Yeah. So let's have a real quick look. I'm not gonna harp on too much about nested, but I will show you each shape quickly so you know exactly what you get in. The love hearts, which I think might be my favourite, these are amazing for easel. You've got the tiny ones in the middle as well, and I have used those so many times while I was doing demos for these. These are so beautiful, and I love that edge into them. There's something about it. So you get all of the different ones there. We go from the love hearts and we go to the circles. So exactly as you would expect. That reminds me of Audrey Hepburn's hat. Then we go from, that's where my brain goes. Then we go to the hexagons, and that reminds me of an umbrella from the top.
Yeah, I get that.
Can you see? Can you see?
Or
and
carousel.
Then carousel. And then we go to my favourite, which is I love ovals. I love, love, love ovals. There's something about them. But look, for your sentiments, aren't they great? The middle pieces. Just so you know, I will show you the rest as well, but I'll be super, super speedy. But there you've got all your slate designs. So these are the vignettes that you're going to get free from the website. And so you get this kind of chalk colour, and then you get the slate grey, which is obviously the colours we would expect. So you've got that kind of chalky white and then that grey as well, which is your standard slate colour.
And by the way, the dies in total, you get 70 dies in all 7. Is it 2, 4, 6? Yeah. So it's basically 10 dies in each set. Is what
it's a whacking great set. It's a whacking great big set. From there, you've got your rectangles. This is the one you're going to use the most. I would have thought it's the one that tends to be in all nested dies, the ones that are the most brought out, and that's because we use this as our standard card shape at the back. Think of all the cards that you can make in the different formats with this beautiful edging on it, that gorgeous slate grey. Grey is probably one of the most fashionable colours at the minute, so the fact that you've got that and you can merge it with your card making is incredible, and those vignettes are free. Then you've got the squares, which is the same thing. It's all your nested. I just want you to see all of the shapes. And then we have got the divine, the beautiful, the absolute gorgeous DL. I love DLs. Yeah. It's the fact that I can use all these for borders and panels, and I can build and I can shape and I can create L shapes from these. I can do bespoke card shapes. I love DL shapes, and I think they are an absolute boon.
Now we are going to have enough time for a second demo, and remember our shows today are slightly different to last time, so we're on till 10 o'clock, then we're back at 11 o'clock with the next show, and then we're doing our final one for today at 1 o'clock. There are a couple more shows tomorrow and a further show on Wednesday as well. Now one really exciting thing, not only this collection, that's really exciting, but another exciting thing is that there's a development on Carnation Crafts website. It's their calendar. Now, if you go there, you can actually see every show that is scheduled, whether it's a Facebook Live, whether it's a brand new launch, wherever it may be, whether it's on television, whether it's on our own channel here at Carnation Crafts TV. All the dates, all the times, wherever they're scheduled, in the month, in the week, you can see it at a glance. And that's for you to look at as well. So if you do get a little bit lost or confused, when's the next show, when's the next show? I haven't been on Facebook for a little while. Just go to the Carnation Crafts website while you're doing your purchases and check and mark down maybe in your diary yourself at home when the next shows are going to be. You won't miss a thing. So today, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, our next 2 shows. But enough time for one more demo, hopefully.
Let's do this. Let's do an easel. Let's do something different. So I'm going to use those circles for this. If you're brand new to using, to making easel cards, they're not difficult at all. Although the first time I ever saw them, I thought it was going to be a little bit too much for me. It's not, it's super simple. So instead of cutting 2 of your largest die for your card base, you cut 3. So that's your main point of difference, is that instead of 2, we're doing 3. You use one of them. The first thing I always do is put my mats and layers on. And I'm just going to take 2 seconds to just say to you guys, oh man alive, those perfect papers together. Look at that blue and cream. Are they not just really pretty together with that white behind it?
It's very kind of Wedgwood-esque,
isn't it gorgeous? So I love that anyway. So we're cutting 3. So I always put my mats and layers on my bottom piece first. That means I know I'm not going to forget to do it, because if you forget to do it and you put your next piece on, you're going to have to cut a piece off your mats and layers, and it doesn't look quite as tidy.
Linda McLeod says, looking at it all, I think it would look good as scenes in shadow boxes. Linda, absolutely brilliant. Not just card making, wall art. Yeah.
Well, take it to Colour of Autumn, I think, where you had that box die, where you could create those shadow boxes with all the pages inside and create those stories going through. And again, adding in those collections with these, so you've got this added to it, just really pretty. And especially when you start thinking of the in the reeds with the doors, the steps that are in Colour of Autumn, all coming together, really beautiful, right? So we've cut out 3 of our main circles. Your middle one is going to be your mechanism for your easel card. So I'm going to score it 1/2 inch at the top, and then I'm going to score it straight down the centre. On the back, so where I've scored 1/2 inch, that one has red liner tape on the back of it. That's the only piece of red liner on the back, just at the back of that score line. And on this piece, I have 2 at the front here from halfway down. This piece, this section has no glue on it whatsoever, no adhesive. So it's just about making sure you've got them all in the right place. Now there is a right way to put your cards, your nesteds together. They do have a pattern around the edge. I don't have much time for the demo, so I won't take too long trying to piece that together at this point. But when you're at home, just look for your sort of same point. So you can see, can you see how I've got that? The 2 edges together at the same point. Just make sure you're pairing those up. I'm not going to be worried too much today about perfection, but obviously at home you do want to be. So I'm just going to place that down, and that gives me my full mechanism for my easel. That's how easy an easel card is. Oh, my brain did fuzzy things. Did you see it? It was easel. My brain did fuzzies. Right, so what I'm going to do then is keep this flat, but I'm going to release the red liner from the bottom half panel. And I'm going to keep that flat, and I'm going to look for that same patterned edge here that I looked for just then, and I'm just going to tweak those together. If I can't find it, I'm not going to worry too much on this demo, because
it's weird though, isn't it? After you've had a couple of weeks of not doing as much, when you go back to work full time, it's like, whoa, how do I do this again?
It's about getting your head back in the game, isn't it? Look at me.
In the right
I'm not going to worry about this too much, because I'm going to take too much of your demo time, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to whack mine down. Don't whack yours down at home. Just make sure that you are thinking it through. And I'm just going to make sure that adhesive is correct at the bottom and it's all sit. That gives me now my full mechanism in full working order. So my card shape is going to sit like that, and I'll place a stopper down at the bottom, and that will allow me to keep that card upright. The recipient, when they get it, will be able to poke that there. But I'm going to work on it flat for now, because obviously I want it all to come together. I've got red liner tape on my mat here. Normally I would put it on foam tape, but not for this piece specifically. So I'm going to place that in. That blue is so pretty.
Gorgeous.
It's a real sky blue. I'm just going to place that down. So I've got that one in motion. The second one, because I've got nested dies, I'm able to create apertures from them. So rather than just cutting one plain panel, I can cut inside that panel too. And I've got options on how to do that. You can measure it out and make it absolutely even, or we can start to play with that. And I wanted to play with the shape for it. So I sat it at the top and just cut a small piece there, so I've got that larger piece coming at the bottom.
I like that.
So it's just about playing with it. So it's not a teardrop, but it's got that kind of inkling to it. But I cut it from the same size die as the one below it. So I'm creating basically an aperture that sits there, keeping this at the top so that I know when it raises up, I'm going to have that point at the top. Then I've just put a red line. No, I haven't. I've put foam tape, and I've put 5mm because I want to create that aperture. Now I'll go as fast as I can.
It's not a one-trick pony, this collection. This is what a lot of you are saying on Facebook as well, is that you can let your imagination run wild. You know, Ponderance Place is a place where you can sit, where you can kind of contemplate, watch the world go by, look at the wildlife. That's what this is. And you've got the characters to build up a scene and tell a story. That's what's so lovely about this. And all the artwork, remember, is done in the United Kingdom, all hand done. Artwork by Nick and his team, so it's artwork that they give you permission to use. You can buy and sell for personal profit or for charitable purposes. But I'll tell you what, I don't know a single person that makes Carnation Crafts cards that doesn't have a queue at their stand whenever they're selling their cards. They always fly off the table, don't they?
Yeah, well, they're just beautiful, aren't they? They're beautiful to have, beautiful to make, beautiful to own. So what I'm going to do here with this, I'm just weighing up where it is and how it sits firmly in my central point. And I know that roughly my foam tape at the bottom there is about central, just slightly off, but that's fine. I just need to place it where it is. And all I'm going to do is place that down, and I'm going to work with this and just use some tuck-ins. So we were talking about those reeds. See how I was saying about the snipping? We can snip into it, we can snip out of it. I just need a straight edge here because I'm going to tuck it down. So all I did was take it straight across. I haven't got the gatepost, I haven't got the little piece of water at the bottom. I've taken all of that away, and I'm just using that one significant piece to create a reed scene behind what I'm doing, so I can bring in the elements of water. So from this, I'm then going to grab hold of my little applicator, and I'm going to start to place down some wet glue here. This is my Carnation Crafts everyday glue and my everyday applicators. If this is something you need to stock up, please do go and have a look on their website. Everything is on there, all for your pleasure. Right, now I've got those, all I'm going to do before I commit to stick with this, because I want to know that I'm straight, I remember that this is just about central, so I can lift this, hold it with one finger, lift it with t'other, place it down, and then I know that I'm right. Okay?
Beautiful.
So it's just about making sure I've grabbed it in the right place. From that point, I can then stick this piece, she says, if I can release, I can stick this back on now properly. So I'm just always just making sure I've got things measured in a way that's appropriate for the card. If I'm slightly off kilter here, it's because I'm on the overhead, so I do apologise. I'm doing everything on a monitor rather than actually being able to
Looks pretty spot
view.
on to me.
So we're going to go there. So now I've created this aperture with this little scene behind it. Just that's pretty. I mean, it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous collection. It's a pleasure to work with. So I've got my little rocks. I think I'll stick those together and put them in, but I want them to be almost circular to match my circular at the bottom. So I might turn some over. I might turn them both over and place. Let's do that. So glue on the bottom. Now I'm going to work fast here because I don't want that to stick yet. I need to know that I've got my semicircle. So I'm just holding it away from the glue. The glue is here before I sort of commit to any stick, and then I'm going to place my wet glue at the bottom, pinch those as I'm going in and place, because I want to tuck those right in. Can you see how they're still moving? I still have that wet movement from the glue. I can still shuffle around, and I can place my grounding device just at the bottom. Now I'm going to push and stick. Because the Carnation glue has such a low water content, it allows me to manipulate that in the most beautiful way. Now I've got a couple of friends here.
Hi to Fiona Mill. Fiona says, wow, just ordered, can't wait. Linda McLeod, hello to you as well. Carol Borrell, hi to you, you're watching as well. Loads of you on Facebook, loads of you on YouTube, and loads of you ordering this new collection for 2023. Very busy, and remember, if you're watching the show, order in between hours. We've got an hour's break when we come off in about 5 minutes, and then another one at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So plenty of opportunity in between shows to place your order as well.
So a couple of florals. I'm just sort of chucking them on randomly, to be honest, because it's what nature is and also what my head is. So we're just going to place these down.
Yours and mine both.
I know, dude, right? It's a hard life. I'm going to snip a couple of these because I don't want them all to be the same height. I like the point of difference, having some short, some tall, and some of it's going to be covered, but just so I know I've got all my bases. I'm not putting it on the actual stems because I'm tucking those, so it's just on the flowers to keep them flat. Just shoving through. I love these. These are my absolute favourites. Aren't they so beautiful?
Gorgeous.
The detail in them is incredible, but they're a little tall for what I need right now, so let's snip.
And for those of you that placed your order, remember, print off the artwork now. The vignettes are there on the website free of charge, and some backing papers as well that you can actually fill your boots with, and you can enjoy all that this afternoon. Print it off now and enjoy the artwork.
If you're if you're printing these off today and you're printing your artwork today, my advice to you is to, if you've got time, print off a few more of the pieces with the floral, which is the reeds within the reeds card shape bit, just because if you cut a ton of these, you can have the most fun just playing and tucking when it gets to you. So that's my advice. Right, I'm placing this in here, so I've got that, and I've now created, look at how beautiful that is as a scene. And then we're going to have a little bath. Don't get excited, Dave.
Ah, okay.
You sit still.
Well, I did actually have one in the end. They did.
Oh, did you?
Heat the water for me eventually. Yeah. I didn't know where the switch was. That was the problem. So.
Oh, bless you. There's nothing worse than when you're freezing cold. And a bath's the best thing in the world, isn't it, when you're that cold? Now, I'm using those rocks as my grounding device so I can put the bath there. It allows me to have something that makes sense of that bath because I've got the rocks underneath it. So we know that it's safe, and that Jeremy, as he goes for his bath, is going to be quite safe. So a little bit shaping out on his little eyes.
I put some glossy accents on his eyes, definitely.
I know, right? The cutest. I'm taking the bigger end of the ball tool and just taking the glue off it, and I'm just going to go across his smile line just gently.
Like you said, Carla, earlier on, think of other collections you've bought from Carnation in the past, maybe last year, year before or whatever. This is going to go so well with so many of them, and it means that you get more out of what you've already got and what you're buying today.
Carnation are the best for that.
Yeah.
Can you see, guys, where I've got, I just want to show you, it's not what I'm doing at the minute, but can you just see, if I take my pokey here, can you see Jeremy's mouth?
Yes.
If I just push my pokey through, can you see how that goes straight through? It's just a little word to you all, just so you know that when you're playing with the little creatures, you'll be able to tuck things into their mouth. So if you want them holding flowers, that's absolutely something you can do, or they can hold a sentiment.
Or it could be a little envelope with a little message on it or something like that. Yeah, now, I've got to let you know, nearly half of the entire available stock is gone. I know lots of emails have been sent out and lots of you knew about these shows, but if you've just stumbled across, maybe on Facebook or YouTube, this show live coming up to 10 o'clock in the morning, nearly half the stock is gone. We've still got 2 more shows today, 2 tomorrow and another one on Wednesday. But if the stock sells out, I don't know how long it's going to be before we can get it back. And you can't get this anywhere else apart from us at the moment as well.
Right, Jeremy is really enjoying his little bath there. He's having the best time. But Monty's got other ideas for Jeremy. Monty would like to join Jeremy in the bath. Jeremy's just a bit clueless and doesn't know anything about it right now. So, we're going to use a little bit of pin flare. Oh, Monty, you're so naughty.
Oh, Janine Dawson from the design team says, "Hi, gorgeous lasses and Dave. I just adored working on this collection. We can tell. Thank you, Janine. Stunning work as well. But yeah, just so many finished cards."
For my stopper, I've just used the pail, and all I've done is bent the bottom part of the pail down. I've put some foam tape on it, and I'm just going to release that. So snipped really small pieces of foam, and I'm just going to sit that upright and place that forward and pop my little pail so it holds everything in place on my card, and push. And there we've got, you can't really see it from there. Shall I turn it around so that you can see it, and just let that sit?
Now, before we go and put the kettle on, let's have a little look at what Carla's created there. There's going to be at least 4 more demos to come throughout the day, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock this afternoon. But what we're worried about, and this is a genuine concern, the stock is going much quicker than we thought. We knew and we hoped that you'd love it, but you've actually loved it even more than we anticipated. So if half stock's gone after the first live launch show, okay, there was a Facebook live tease yesterday, and lots of you had the email about its availability and you've ordered before the show. But more demos to come. Let me just quickly remind you of what you're going to get in the collection. And remember, this is the all-important code you need. To get it for $98.99, you need to put PPCC10 in the discount box, and that will take that $109.99 down to $98.99. That's what everyone will pay if you use that promo code. Plus, free P&P as well. If you spend over £50 with us in the UK, you always get free P&P. But let's have a look at the dies. And every die has got coordinating vignettes. You've got the free flowing, so that's your kind of water butt and the tap. Next to that, you've got the beautiful card shape, which is the within the reeds. And like we said before, and Carla pointed out, such versatility. It's a beautiful tranquil collection, but versatility is key here too. Masses of snippability with the garden fence and all the reeds and the wildflowers. The leafy hollow is where they all hang out, or maybe you just want one character to live in the leafy hollow. There it is. Next to that, we've then got the puddle buddies. You've got your cutest chick, the snail, and of course, Jeremy the frog is there, all bulging-eyed as well. And then down the bottom, we've got our mouse, of course, that's going for a bit of a dive off the diving board. We've got the grounding devices of the rocks. We've got the swallows, and then you've got your buckets and pails and your terracotta pots as well. The whole thing is basically the opportunity for you to tell a story, to build up a scene and to put the characters in whatever scenario you want. Remember, the vignettes are the artwork that's absolutely free, whether you have the single-sided or the double-sided or a bit of both. Go to the website right now, carnationcrafts.co.uk, and that's where you'll see them. And you can print off some backgrounds as well, free of charge there too. Carla and I and Taz will be back in about an hour's time at 11 o'clock for part 2. Order during the break though to make sure you get your collection, because if it sells out, it could be maybe a 5, 6, 7 weeks before we can get stock back in. So grab it now. I'll go and put the kettle on. You do the same. Enjoy your collection, and we'll see you in about 60 minutes.